Welcome to another one of my trip reports. Today I will be flying with Jetstar on a Boeing 787 in business class. Today's trip report begins at Walleye Creek train station. Walleye Creek station is one of the many train stations spread across Sydney, and this particular station is a part of the Airport and South Line towards Macarthur, as well as the eastern suburbs and Illawarra Line towards Bondi Junction, Waterfall and Cronulla. This morning I used the trains to get to Terminal 1 from my home train station, and I arrived here after leaving my home approximately 1 hour ago. One thing to note about the airport train stations is that there is a $15 surcharge to use them, so keep this in mind if you plan on using the stations, and make sure you have enough money on your Opal card. Welcome to Sydney Kingsford Smith International Airport. Sydney Airport is the city's primary airport, as well as Australia's busiest and by far the most important. You can fly up to 90 destinations, 44 international and 46 being domestic, with the most popular route being the world's second busiest air route, Sydney to Melbourne, which is where I shall be flying to today. You might be wondering why I am at the international terminal, considering I shall be flying on a domestic route. This may sound a little bit strange, but I promise things will make a whole lot more sense later on in the video. The check-in counters are labelled Alpha to Kilo, and the airlines are pretty much all over the place. Jetstar uses the Kilo check-in counter, which is located at the far right of the building. The counter has its dedicated business class and economy lanes. Once checked in, I received my boarding pass and proceeded towards customs. Just prior to customs is a food court and shopping precinct, which is similar to what you'd see inside the domestic terminals. At customs, business and first class passengers are ushered towards a separate line, and once past this point, you cannot return, as you will be leaving the country. As I am a domestic passenger, I was led towards the Pacific Islands and Norfolk Island line. Border Force today was very friendly and welcoming, wishing all passengers a safe journey onwards. Once being stamped out of the country, security was immediately afterwards, and was pretty normal. I must admit, I do like how I was guided back towards the business class lane. As I was being checked in, I was told that because I'm a domestic passenger, I am not entitled to any duty free. However, I did entertain myself by attempting to find the most expensive alcohol, which I found was a 1.5 litre bottle of brandy, priced the same as a one-way first-class Qantas ticket to London. Damn! Because I now fly so often, I recently decided to join Priority Pass, which is similar to the Qantas Club. However, it's for a different selection of lounges all over the world. Priority Pass members have access to the House Lounge, which is located towards Pier C. If you aren't a member of Priority Pass, you can still access this lounge. However, it'll cost you a hefty 77 Australian dollars, or 66 Australian dollars if you book online. This lounge used to be the Etihad Lounge, but it became a Priority Pass lounge when Etihad opened their brand new lounge in June 2022. The lounge is fairly small and has different seating for each and every passenger, including window views, lounges, couches, and a formal dining area. There's a small buffet with hot and cold food, as well as drinks, including a barista and a bartender. As I was in the lounge mid-morning, breakfast was being served. On today's menu were mini muffins, croissants, baked beans, roasted potatoes, sausages, scrambled eggs, toast, yogurt, sliced fruit cups, different cereals, and apples and pears. To start with, I went for 2 mini muffins and a croissant, which were double chocolate and blueberry with white chocolate. The muffins were bite-sized and were absolutely delicious. The croissant wasn't freshly baked, but rather packaged, like what you'd expect at Woolies. Whilst enjoying my first course, the Air India 787 at Gate 51 pushed back for its 12-hour journey to Delhi. I decided to try a coffee from the barista, as well as the sausages, roasted potatoes and baked beans. I also got some of their yogurt to try. The sausages, despite falling out of their casing, were absolutely delicious. The roasted potatoes were not as crispy as they looked, and the baked beans were store-bought, but I can't complain. The yogurt was very refreshing and wasn't too sweet nor sour, unlike the yogurt at the Qantas Club in Terminal 3. If anyone is curious about my coffee order, I ordered a vanilla latte on oat milk. The bathrooms in the lounge are very luxurious, with soaps and conditioners provided by L'Occitane, which smell amazing. There is also a shower facility with an absolutely huge shower. It could definitely fit 2 or 3 people in there at once. If you're interested, towels can be obtained from the front desk. In time, my original aircraft arrived from Phuket, Thailand. However, this aircraft wouldn't be my plane today, due to unknown reasons. As I stated earlier, today I will be flying to Melbourne from the international terminal. And this is the reason why, because the flight is connecting from Phuket. Therefore, this flight must depart from the international terminal. A few passengers on board were actually continuing onwards towards Melbourne. On my boarding pass at check-in, a giant orange D sticker meaning domestic was placed, indicating that I had departed from Australia. This sticker is vital, for without it I wouldn't be allowed to exit Melbourne Airport. After noticing that my flight had commenced boarding early, I quickly jumped up and proceeded to my gate. My flight today is boarding from gate 36 rather than 34, which is where my original aircraft is. One thing to note about the location of the house lounge and gate 36 is that a 10-minute walk is required, so make sure you give yourself plenty of time to reach your gate. After arriving at my gate, I got my first proper glimpse at my aircraft, which is a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, registered Victor Hotel, Victor Kilo Lima. The aircraft was delivered brand new to Jetstar in July 2015, making this aircraft 7 years old. Walking down the jet bridge, I got another glimpse of the 787, with a Delta A350 in the background. Stepping on board the aircraft, I was greeted to the lovely flight attendants and was guided towards my seat. Jetstar's 787s are in a 2-class configuration with 21 business class seats in a 232 configuration and 314 economy class seats in a 333 configuration. At all seats, there is an entertainment screen, which we will get to later. The business class seat is made of leather and has 38 inches of pitch and 19 inches of width and reclines slightly. In the seat pocket is a safety card and air sickness bags. There is a tray table that folds out of the armrest and is pretty difficult to access when there are drinks on the cocktail table. Once it's out, it folds in half, extends and is fairly stable. A welcome drink of sparkling wine and pretzels were offered to all business class passengers, and also at every occupied seat was a bottle of water. This is way more than I was expecting for Jetstar. Above the seat are individual air vents and reading lights. Business class passengers are supplied with a pair of noise-cancelling headphones, which are surprisingly good. In between the seats are 2 universal power outlets and 2 USB ports. The remote for the screen is also here, and it controls the reading light. We pushed back 31 minutes behind schedule, which put my connecting flight at risk. We taxied to runway 34 right via Golf, Charlie, Bravo 10, Sierra, Tango and Tango 6. Now please enjoy this unedited takeoff footage. After takeoff, we turned right, heading east over the Tasman Sea, before turning south towards Melbourne. Flight time today is 1 hour and 5 minutes, covering a distance of 481 miles or 774 kilometers, cruising at 38,000 feet. During our initial right-hand turn, I spotted an Air New Zealand 777 departing north for Auckland, as well as giving me a spectacular view of Sydney's CBD and surroundings. On the back of every seat is an entertainment screen, and at booking for economy passengers, it costs $10 for the entire length of the flight, or $13 whilst in flight. However, for business class passengers it's free, and features the latest movies and TV shows, as well as games and information. The screen is fairly responsive, however it has one drawback, and that is the glare that affects the viewing of the screen. Personally, I would dim the window if we were flying over water, but over land I am more interested in the views outside. Just like the remote, the screen can also turn on the individual reading light. Soon we passed over Bass Point near Wollongong, and in the distance was Jervis Bay. We did eventually end up passing Jervis Bay, and down below was the town of Nowra in New South Wales, which is a major town on the south coast. In time, the crew came around offering food and drink free of charge. I asked for a hot chocolate, which came in a ceramic mug. Wow, I was not expecting this. And I also asked for a muffin, but was given a chocolate slice instead. The food was very good, however my only drawback was that there was no cutlery. One thing I didn't notice until now is that the aircraft hasn't been properly cleaned. There was dirt, dust, hair and rubbish scattered throughout the aircraft, which disappointed me. The crew then offered a second round of drinks, to which I asked for a glass of orange juice. On board the 787 are 6 bathrooms, 1 for business behind the cockpit and 5 for economy, 1 behind row 11, 2 behind row 41 and 2 at the rear. The business class bathroom is no different from the economy class bathroom, with everything you expect, including the Qantas branded hand soap. Soon we commenced our descent into Melbourne. Flying into Melbourne, the scenery began to change, from mountains to rural to the city. Now please enjoy this unedited landing footage. We taxied back to Terminal 2 via Foxtrot and Tango. We pulled into Gate 9, 24 minutes behind schedule. With probably the tightest connection I've ever faced ahead of me, I proceeded my way towards customs. Flying in Jetstar's business class was a lot better than I expected. However, despite all this, it felt less of business class and more like premium economy. The seat is comparable to a business class seat on a Qantas 737, and the crew on board were very friendly. There was no lounge access offered in my ticket. Other than a big leather seat and free food on board, there wasn't very much to it. I still very much enjoyed this flight, and this seat would definitely be the way to go when flying on Jetstar, especially long haul. But for this short sector, there is no way I'd ever fly business class again with Jetstar. After a painful wait in the customs line, I was ushered to the front of the line, and my boarding pass was seized, unfortunately. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment and subscribe. Make sure to push that notification bell if you enjoy my content. And I hope to see you again in the next one. See you later.